Hi, dear listener. I am really glad you're here. Try to imagine that it's late. Everyone else has gone to sleep. The music has stopped hours ago, and it's just us, maybe sitting in front of a fire. This isn't a lecture, it's a conversation about art. The kind that you have when you're a little tired, a little honest, and you stop pretending to know the answers. What is art? What is it? When someone says the word art, you probably see something immediately. Maybe a painting, sculpture, a cathedral, or a monument. For a very long time, if it wasn't one of those things, it just wasn't art. But now the word feels blurry, softer around the edges. Today we call almost anything that comes from human creativity art. We call artists singers, writers, even content creator. I don't know if I fully agree with that because I don't know. To me, a work of art is something harder to catch. It's something that I can't completely explain, but I feel it sitting somewhere inside of me. It has a point of view, a presence, almost a soul. So I go back to the question that I said before: what is art? How do we decide that this painting is a masterpiece and that movie is not? I mean, if you open a dictionary and try to find the answer there, you will probably end up even more confused than before. When I was studying years ago, I read a book that quietly ruined my peace in a good way. It threw me into a crisis that I didn't even know I needed. And somehow, that crisis is the reason why we're speaking right now. The book opened with a very simple question: do you like the Sistine Chapel? And it sounds harmless, right? So many people find that question almost offensive because the expected answer is obvious. Of course, I do. It's a masterpiece. It was painted by a genius. But then, you ask something softer and maybe more dangerous. Why? What do you actually like about it? What makes it a masterpiece for you? And and suddenly the room gets quiet. Do we call something art only when it overwhelms us? When it makes us cry and we don't know why? When we can look away? If that's the rule, then art must be something that shakes us so deeply that we almost collapse. But then, who faints in front of this? And still, we call them art. So maybe art needs a message. Maybe it has to speak clearly. Maybe it needs to say something important. But there are entire movements who didn't want to say anything at all. No manifesto, no explanation, no moral. So is that not art? Other people will tell you that art is only real after years and years of discipline. after you learn how to paint perfectly, how to shoot perfectly, how to draw hands so well that it almost moves. And yet, history is full of artists who said, no, we're not doing that. Some of them just took objects from the real world and placed them inside museums. And somehow, for someone, that is art too, even if most people tend to disagree. A long time ago, I spoke to someone who asked me a question that I couldn't answer. He said, why do you feel the need to work in the art world? And I didn't know. I I try say something smart, something structured. But the truth is I had no idea. Working on this, talking to you though, I think I finally understand now. And the answer is the reason why I asked, what is art to you? I think that art is nothing. Not in a negative way, not in an empty way. I mean I mean that art is free. It doesn't have a final definition. It doesn't need a box. It doesn't ask for permission. Art is freedom in its purest form. It can be beautiful, ugly, honest, grand, small, tender, cruel. It's completely man made, and still it escapes us every single time we try to trap it. And I think that's why I love it. And maybe that's why you do too. Because every time in history we try to define it, the world changed, society changed, and art slipped out of our hands and became something else. Maybe we're obsessed with defining art because we don't like things that refuse to be defined. Things without borders, things without borders scare us a little. They feel unstable. But art was never meant to be stable. So, yes, art is nothing. And honestly, thank God for that.